Hello everyone and welcome to our lazy leg workout. We're going to begin seated in the center of our mat. Come down back onto your forearms. Join the soles of the feet together, knees are apart. We're just going to begin on that right leg and just take some leg lifts, keeping that same position with the leg so it's slightly bent, knee is pointing out. Flex the foot, really engage through the inner thigh. This is amazing not only for the inner thigh but also the outer thigh and for your hip mobility. Just taking a few of these to warm up the right leg. Now keep the right leg slightly lifted. We're just going to lift that leg and straighten it out to the side. Keep the foot flexed. Keep the leg slightly close towards the ground so that you're really burning out the inner thigh using that control with the hips. This is really great for elongating and stretching out the thighs, really working the inner thighs, melting that fat. For our final exercise on this side, we're just going to lift the right leg towards the sky and then out towards the side. Keep the leg straight. This again is really amazing for the inner thighs. Keep that control, use the breath and the core to keep control with that leg. Keep the left leg exactly where it is in that butterfly position. Now we're just going to take one more on this side, lower down towards the ground and back up again. Relax the right leg down and let's begin with those left leg lifts. Keep that same position with the leg, knee pointing out, flex the foot. Again, this is really amazing for inner thigh engagement and hip mobility. Now keep that leg low to the mat. We're just going to extend the leg out towards the side, then join it back to center in our butterfly. Keep the knee exactly where it is, flex the foot, elongate through the inner thigh. Now we're just going to take those leg extensions towards the sky. Keep the same position with the right leg, extend the left leg and really lift and lower using control with the core and the hips. This is really amazing for the inner thighs and that hip mobility and strength. And relax the left leg back down. So keeping our feet mat width apart, we're just going to take some windscreen wipers, drawing our knees to one side and then the other. You can come up onto your hands to get some extra mobility into the hips. This will just warm up the hips and give them a little bit of a stretch before our next set of exercises. Just do a few more of these. Really take some deep breaths here, trying to relax the mind a little bit just before the next bit. Now recline onto the mat. We're going to come back into our butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Going to lift up into a glute bridge, and then we're just going to take an abduction, join the knees together. This is really amazing for the inner thighs. arms up towards the sky to challenge that balance. Engage through the core, tuck the pelvis under as we lift towards the sky. Now take this glute bridge with our feet flat on the mat. Keep the hips nice and high, and we're just going to walk the feet outwards slightly and then back in. You can do this on the heels or on the flat of the foot. This will just challenge your balance, engage the core, engage the inner thighs. This is amazing for the entirety of the leg and the glutes. Walk out one last time and then back in. Make your way up onto your right side on your right forearm. Just going to lift that left leg, point the toes. We're just going to take some little circles. Really engage through the inner thighs, also working the outer thighs here. Keep both legs out nice and straight, in line with the body. Hips are stacked on top of one another. Now this time we're going to tuck the left leg in towards the body, extend towards the sky, and then we're going to lower back down to meet that right leg. Point the toes, engage the inner thigh, try to resist gravity as you're lowering that leg back down. Keep the hips stacked again, engage through the core. This is amazing for the inner thighs and also that hip mobility. And lower down, coming into our tabletop posture for our final exercise. Let's take those fire hydrants on that left leg. Point the toes, engage through the core, gazes ahead. This will really get into the inner thighs as well as the booty. Keep your hips nice and square to the mat. You don't want to be moving over to the left side too much, lifting the left hip up to the sky. You want to keep nice and square. Just a few more of these and then we'll move on to the other side. Now let's get down onto the left side on the left forearm, beginning with those tiny little circles with that right leg. Point the toes, elongate through the leg, work that inner and outer thigh, engage the core, stack the hips, squeeze the glutes, really burning out the entirety of the leg. And let's take those arabesque lifts, so joining that right leg in towards the body, extend towards the sky and slowly lower back down. Making these as beautiful as you can, stretching out the hips while we work that inner and outer thigh, point those toes. Just one more, draw in towards the body, extend and lower. Let's get into that 4-point kneeling pose and come into our fire hydrants. Point the toes, engage the inner thigh, stretching out the hip and really working the glute here. Engage the core, navel in towards the spine, square off the hips to the top of the mat. Keep your weight evenly distributed in your hands, and this will make an excellent final burner for this practice. Just 2 more and one last one. Well done. Thank you for joining me. Have a lovely rest of your day.